So before we begin, here's a bit of a disclaimer. This was my first time ever creating videos, so I've made a bunch of mistakes. One of those being forgetting to turn down the game audio when recording, so at some point in the video my voice is really hard to hear, especially when animals are nearby. So I recommend you turn on subtitles. I worked really hard on those. I did fix that audio issue around the end of the video though, so I hope you will forgive me and enjoy the video anyway. Hello everyone! My name is Marotslot and this is probably the first ever video on my channel. This world was started on the 23rd of June 2025, so it's technically around 8 months old at this point. So it's still a relatively new world, but I've been having a lot of fun in it. So as you can see on the day counter, the current day is day 898. So I've almost been here for 900 days, which isn't a lot. No, for me it's quite a lot. I've also had one other long-term world. This is actually my second ever long-term world, but that one I've sort of got discouraged from playing it. And it was also completely vanilla, while this one is modded. Well, it's not really. As you can see, I have chicken soup in my inventory, which is an item from the Farmer's Delight mod. Okay, I'm getting a little bit distracted. Let's start the tour. So, as you can see, this is my base. This is Fernlake farm. The location on which it is built in is also rather interesting. Spawn is actually way over there, around maybe 1,000 blocks. That way. There's also a village way over there, which I have stayed in for a bit. Then I found this little place. It's sort of an island, though I don't really know whether to call it an island. The body of water that it is in is relatively small. I thought this spot was also interesting because it was a sort of lower spot, so it's mostly surrounded by hills. We have also almost every single wood biome around here. So we have a mixed forest, you know, a normal forest, a tall birch forest, several types of jungle. So we got a bamboo jungle, a normal jungle. There's also sparse jungle, but there's also dark oak wood. Alright, I sort of lost my train of thought since I was interrupted right now, and this is probably going to get cut out, but whatever. So I was probably explaining the fact that there's a lot of different biomes around this part. This island is actually built on 3 entire biomes. So we have the river biome on the edges. There's also jungle biome. Most of these trees are actually the original trees. I haven't cut down any of them. These are not new. There were a few trees over here, and there's also a tiny spot of a normal forest biome somewhere around here. I can't find it for the moment, but there was one here. I only recognize it as a forest biome because there was one single birch tree here. So over here we have the chicken coop, which is constantly overflowing with eggs because I don't really use those. I think it's rather nice. So the only mod I am using is technically cows are distracting. The only mod I'm using is Farmer's Delight. Over here we have the barn. It's very standard looking barn, I think. It's a bit cramped, but I think it works. We have a little bit of storage over here and also mushrooms. I don't know how they got here, but they're here, I guess. It's their home now. Over here we have the stables. This is actually a recent addition. I've decided to elongate the roof and also add sort of fencing around here. Here we have this is my horse Bonefly. This is Orange Peel, my llama. This is actually a trader llama of a wandering trader that wandered onto my base when I was still building that house over there. So pretty early on. So these 2 horses are actually the most recent additions. I haven't named them yet. I actually have names for them, but I have forgotten them. I've written them down somewhere. Please ignore this. I also forgot to mention that the other mod I have is Butcher's Delight. This is a sort of... It's a mod that basically adds realistic animal butchering to the game. to clear things up, I am not a sadist. I don't enjoy dismembering animals. This is just because, dismembering animals yields a lot more resources like leather and stuff. So I can get leather from sheep as well. This is not because I am a sadist, it's because I am trying to be efficient. I'm probably going to cut this out, but whatever. 1 second. Let me look at my notes. So I was supposed to move on over here to the treehouse. There was... I don't know, I just had an idea to build a treehouse at some point, and that's what I did. It's not empty. We have 2 residents here. This is my pink sheep Dolly, which I have found over there in the swamps. I don't remember when, but I think it was when I was trying to find tea bushes. So, the second resident here is our friendly pillager, Perry Jr. I don't particularly remember what happened to the original Perry. I think he despawned. So yes, this is Perry. He has a little cake here. He has a banner, which he accidentally picked up, and now he has it in his hand. I know, I just have a habit of, when pillagers sometimes visit my little farm, I capture some of them and I break their crossbows. You know that bug when pillagers' crossbows can actually break if they use them long enough. So if you put a villager in a boat, and then if you sit in that boat, the pillager will try to shoot you, but he can't hit you. And so eventually his crossbow will break and you will come out unscathed. This is a swing. I don't know. It's of course it doesn't function properly because it's Minecraft. We don't have physics over here. This is the graveyard. These are mostly for dead pets. So as you can see, I have a terrible memory and I can't remember dates at all. So most of these are approximate. I have Chestnut the dog. It's just a dog I tamed when I was in the swamps trying to collect tea bushes. I don't remember particularly how he died, but he's dead. Requiem, I think she was shot by a skeleton. Sabrina and Jasper are more interesting because Jasper wasn't actually cat. It was an ocelot that naturally spawned on the island, which I caught with a leash and brought into my home. And Sabrina was a black cat that I had rescued from a witch in the swamp. The swamp hut and the witch were nowhere to be found. I just found a random black cat just running around. So I tamed her and brought her here. And so the way that she died was particularly interesting. She was somehow struck with lightning through the roof of my house. It was very sudden and very jarring because I had just logged on. I was way over there, and then I hear the sounds of a thunderstorm, and I see the message in the chat that my cat was struck by lightning. I ran over home. I just don't find anything. And also Jasper was also killed by that same lightning strike, I believe, because he couldn't have despawned. He was named. That was one of the most bizarre things that happened over here. So you can see the balcony over here. One of these stairs was missing. It was probably deleted when the lightning struck. I have no idea how that happened. Amongst the other pets that died were actually... I had 3 parrots, but 2 of them were unnamed because I didn't have access to name tags. I think both of them got shot by skeletons. But I also have another named parrot who was named Smokescreen. He was one of those blue and yellow parrots. And he looked like Smokescreen from Transformers. Which doesn't really matter because he got blown up by a creeper and he's dead now. So I got a little bit distracted talking about my dead pets, but then over here we have the windmill. This was mostly built, because I was like, what else, what kind of buildings you can also find in the farm? And I turned to my Stardew Valley save, and I found that I also had built a windmill there, which was mostly for decoration. So I also built this little wheat field around here. I don't really need that much wheat, it's mostly for decoration. We have these interesting scarecrows. So this windmill, it's built in a very old school style. It's just like most of my builds over here. Coming inside here we have my bone and bone meal storage, which I have quite a lot of. This is my bone meal machine. This is supposed to be sort of the mechanism in the windmill that grates the wheat into flour. I forgot what it's called. So we have my extra onions over here and the poisonous potatoes and some random shovel. This room is empty just because we have the mechanism over here. These are my farms. They are very minimalistic and very cute. It was a pain in the ass planning these out, but I think they look amazing. We have rice over here. We have both normal crops and farmers delight crops here. It doesn't yield that much, but it's enough for me to make recipes sometimes. Anyways, here we have the greenhouse, which is also one of the earliest builds here. It was originally completely filled with tomatoes, but when I realized that was way too many tomatoes, I just changed it up and now it just holds almost every single crop in the game, including modded crops. It also doubles as a bee farm because we have bees over here, which I don't really use because I don't really eat honey. The most important part of this base, of course, is my house. It's a bit odd looking, but you'll see why in a second. I actually planned this house out in creative in a different world, and then I built this one by the schematic, but it was really important that I got all of the details right. I've actually changed up some things. This bottom part of the tower was actually the same width as this part, but I extended it so that I could fit an enchanting room. Ignore this pillager, no worries, he is fine, he's protected from, he's not really protected from the rain. Here, let me move him under this tree. I swear I'll build a house for him as soon as I finish filming this. Anyways, starting here in the house, we have this sort of corridor, I don't know, a foyer. We have my ender chest here. We have a jukebox here. We have this little cactus plant. We have these mob heads. This was my first time getting mob heads in survival ever. It was a painstaking process, but we finally have all of these. I also have a wither head, but it's in storage because it didn't fit on the shelf. We have my first ever wooden pickaxe over here. It was collecting dust in the chest, but then I decided that it should be over here on display. Here is my enchanting setup, which is, this is surprisingly functional. We have the whole level 30 shebang over here. We have an anvil here, a grindstone here. The flooring here is made out of it's made out of notebooks because I think it looks cool, and also I can do this.
Oh brother, this guy's still.
So over here we have my original storage. It's not much, but surprisingly it was enough for me for this entire 900 days. We have my wood here, my valuables here, which is mostly just ores, natural blocks here. Why are these tea leaves here? They're not supposed to be here. There's some random stuff over here. Over here is my second favorite room in this entire house, the kitchen. I feel that since this mod, this Farmer's Delight, adds a lot of cooking blocks, I should build an actual kitchen where I can actually cook. We have everything you need here. We have a sink here. We have two stoves here. We have two furnaces in here. We have a brewing stand, a cutting board, some storage. We have every single crop in the game here. It's sorted by color. Farmer's Delight also adds crates, which is basically you can just make a potato block. It's a more efficient way of storing crops. We have the meat chest here. The reason why I have this amount of fish is because I was trying to make a conduit, and for a conduit you need Nautilus shell. The most efficient way of gathering those was fishing, and so I did a lot of fishing. We have more random stuff in here. This is also a Farmer's Delight feature. We have tea here, which is actually a feature that is added by an add-on for Farmer's Delight, which is called Farmer's Respite, which is also a really great mod. We have this tiny little table here. we have a lot of mushrooms on the floor because I thought those look cool. And also, if you're wondering why the ceiling looks so weird, it's because in a normal Minecraft world, 2 furnaces isn't just enough. So why not add some in the ceiling? Yes, these are all furnaces. In case I need to smelt large amounts of something, these are quite helpful. I really like paintings in this game, so I put them everywhere. Here on the staircase we have the second floor, which is just mostly a tiny corridor. We have some extra storage here. We have the balcony here. We just have a place to sit and enjoy the birds or whatever. So we can also enter this tower here, which this room was previously, it was an empty room a few times, then I made it in the butchery room, which I actually put over there on the outside because I realized that, the blood would drip over here and it would ruin my bookshelves and also my floor. So it's now an extra storage room. This is actually one of the most recent additions to my house. I've gathered a lot of stone from building another project that I'll show you later. We have some random blocks over here, we have some other blocks that I also like to use. This is mostly just bulk storage. We have some paintings over here and levers, just for decoration. This is the top of the tower. We don't really have anything over here. This doesn't really matter. But climbing over here we have the rooftop tea garden. I just wanted the rooftop tea garden, so I made it. These are the tea bushes from the mod. I had to switch this whole world to forge because of this mod, because of Pharmacy Spite, because it was only on forge. And then there was some mishap when where I couldn't plant the tea seeds, so I had to download an earlier version. So this whole mod pack is basically just held together by a bunch of sticky tape and some shitty glue and prayers. This world is actually, I forgot to mention, it's on 1.18.2, which is technically the version that I started playing on PC. We have a little bit of a seating area here, in case you want to sit on the roof. We have the chimney here. So, ow, I just broke my legs. You may have wondered when I had passed this door, what is this door for? And this is my most favorite room in this entire house, my room, which is the one-to-one recreation of my real-life room. This is actually supposed to be a beanbag, but we don't really have those in Minecraft. I have string lights on this wall, but you can't really do those, so I just did a wall of torches, which looks stupid, but I like it. This is actually supposed to be an electric piano. I have this pumpkin in real life. I have actually made a Minecraft pumpkin in real life, which is basically just a cardboard box with holes cut into it, and which I painted. We got this little carpet here, which I do not have in real life because I don't want to clean carpets, but I think it looks nice. We have this table over here, which is not really... there's actually a little gap here in real life, but of the constraints of everything being, block to block, I couldn't really do that, so it just seems like a really uncomfortable spot to put a table in, but it looks nice. I'm actually sitting here in real life right now. So over here we have a sort of shelving area in which I store all of my craft supplies. I store most of my clothing here. I actually have a spot for my cat on the shelf as well. So over here we have my bed. This is actually not a painting in real life. This is actually a big print of the periodic table because I am a chemistry nerd in training. So we have my cat Shelly, my only surviving pet at this point. She's very adorable. I love you, Shelly. Here we have the balcony. This is where my cat Sabrina was sitting when she got struck by lightning. This part was actually originally made out of terracotta, and it's the only part that doesn't really match the actual room because I have this brick wallpaper in real life. I have this weird little ceiling light in real life, but this was actually made originally out of terracotta because I have painted this wall in my room to be sort of Minecraft terracotta colored. But then I didn't really like how the terracotta looked in Minecraft, so I changed it up for orange. We have bunch of basins. This is actually supposed to be a Team Fortress 2 poster that I have in real life, but obviously we don't have Team Fortress 2 posters in Minecraft. We should probably skip the night. There was a weird bug when if my cat sleeps on top of me, she may get teleported outside. She may as well accompany us as the rest of the tour. So this is basically the entire house. The reason why it looks so weird because I basically just built the recreation of my room and I built around it sort of. And also fun fact, because I didn't really get the proportions of my room right on the first time I had to move this wall outward 2 times. So that's why the kitchen was expanded. So the next thing I also wanted to show was my nether hub. This was supposed to be sort of a meteorite that like fell from the sky and cracked open and it revealed a nether portal inside or whatever. I don't know what my idea was for this build, but I think it looks nice. I need to put my gold pants on because otherwise I will get obliterated by the piglins. One second. See time. This is pretty boring, but here we have the. Can I stop lagging? Oh my god. We have the nether base over here. We have a sort of sitting area here, which I do not use at all. We have another wood farm over here, sort of the main room. We have a coffee farm in here, which is also a farmer's respite feature. This actually covered the lava so that, if I pick up the coffee berries so they don't fall into the lava. These coffee plants actually require lava to grow. Also, they only grow on basalt. Gathering these coffee beans was an entire journey because these coffee plants naturally spawn only in basalt deltas, and it was really hard to find those because it's mostly crimson forest over here. So over here we have the sort of safe room because I can just close this and none of the piglins can open it because piglins can open doors. I don't know if you knew that, but they can do that. We have sort of lava lamps here. We have, everything a Minecraft player in the nether could ever want and need. We have this balcony. I had a lot of fun building this. Why am I crawling? Okay. So coming inside. I had these as oak doors for a while, but then I had to change them up because when I was building this, I completely forgot that piglins could open doors. So I got assaulted in my own home. This is what the build looks like from outside. I think it's rather nice. We have this little part of the land that I have remained into a warped forest because there wasn't really a warped forest here originally, but I decided to plant some warped plants over here. I don't know, I just do stuff. So I have also planted some of these giant mushrooms in here and I put some glowstone in them. I've also replaced the shroom eyes with the glowstone because I thought it looked nice. I just needed a little like safe place so I don't get attacked by countless amounts of hoglins once I leave the base. So up over there is the nether fortress. It's sort of spawned inside a bunch of netherracks, so it was just tunnels. Hello there. Where are you running? I didn't even do anything to you, man. This is the path that I built when I was looking for another nether fortress and also subsequently looking for coffee plants. Over there, this path passed through a crimson forest, then a warp forest, there's some nether plains. Basically had to venture out over 2000 blocks and find another nether fortress. Yeah, that was a journey. This is making me nauseous. Another thing that is also near the base that I also have to show you is my zombie enclosure. So over time I have captured a few zombies as well, just in boats. So this place was originally sort of a weird dugout cave, which I also dug out even further because I just had to, when I required stone for my builds, I just gathered the stone in here. I caught several zombies. I caught one adult zombie with pumpkin on it during Halloween, and it was a really bizarre event. I had 2 zombie children ran at me when I was building that pumpkin patch over there. One of them was in full chainmail armor and the other one was in full leather armor, and they had their armor enchanted. I decided to keep them as sort of friends or something. We also have that one. So we have 4 zombies in there, which, you know, I just felt that it would be a really sad life to live, just sitting in a boat for the rest of your life. And so I decided to build them a sort of house. This is not a zoo or anything. It may look like one, but that's just because I just wanted them to be able to have natural sunlight. Because I forgot for a second that the light that shines through glass is also deadly for zombies. And I only realized that when I fully, you know, built this whole glass through situation. And then I was like, wait, what do I do now? Because one of the zombies, no, ankle biter, which is what I named, the former chicken jock, he didn't have a helmet. And so Robert Pumpkinton, the zombie with the pumpkin on his head, had a pumpkin on his head, obviously, which would protect him from the sun, which is a deadly laser, for them, at least. And Putis and Putsen, which is what I named, the fully armored siblings. They already had helmets on them, but then I realized that helmets break in the sunlight. Then I thought that I should put some pumpkins on them. I was trying to put pumpkins on them with dispenser. That scared me so bad. That noise of the sheep eating the grass. I'm just so on edge right now. And so the whole dispenser method of putting a pumpkin into the dispenser and just flicking the lever and the zombie equipping the pumpkin did not work with the baby zombies for some unknown reason. I think it's because it only works with 2-block tall mobs. So I just cheated a little bit. I enabled commands, and I basically just did the item replace command on them so that I could put pumpkins on their head. I know. Just editor, please put that GIF of like pumpkins being thrown at the screen. But it was for other people's good. Why are they standing in this damn corner? I just went into free cam mode to be able to show you the whole enclosure, because if I go in, my ankles are going to be beaten. As you can see, we have Putis and Putsen. Yes, that is a TF2 reference. Is it stupid? I don't care. We have Robert over here, the only adult here. He's sort of like a single father to the 3 other zombies in here. So we have a sort of sitting area for them. We have a lot of fungi, because, I don't know, I thought zombies just liked fungus. We have a little pool over here, which I tried to make more shallow. There was actually a sort of pool here originally, but I had to make it less deep because all the zombies would drown, and they still did because all of them are 1 block tall. We have a little this dark cliff bed here in case they want to rest or whatever. I don't know if zombies sleep or hibernate or whatever, but in case they do, I've built a little spot for them. So another thing I forgot to show was the pumpkin patch. This is sort of an expansion to my farm, because I realized that selling pumpkins to villagers was actually a very good source of emeralds, because most of my villagers are healed zombie villagers, which means that they give you an emerald for 1 pumpkin. And so I built a giant pumpkin farm so that I could just come over and trade. Oh, hello there. Bonk. 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 This is so fun. I actually use the skillet is from Farmer's Delight. It's used to cook food and all that stuff, but I mostly use it as a weapon because it's fun. And also TF2 reference. Oh my god, TF2 reference. Oh dear. Get away from me, you fucking cactus. Oh no, oh no. Oh, he's gonna shoot my cat! He shot my cat! Don't you dare shoot my damn cat again. Oh, I don't think he actually hit her. I thought he shot my cat. I've had other pets die to skeleton arrows before. It's not a fun experience. So I also added some melons here because I also had a villager who bought melons and all that stuff. The next destination that we'll be heading to is the village. And it's sort of a... It's not really a long road there, but I don't really want to get shot by skeletons as I walk over there. Oh, nice, she didn't get teleported. Thank you for the string. Love you. Why do I have a baked potato? Oh, it's probably from when I killed that zombie. Probably because I killed him with the fire aspect. So I just use an enchanted frying pan as a weapon. It doesn't actually do that much damage. It does as much damage as a iron axe, but it has extra knockback. And I just think it's really funny, because I am also a TF2 player. Coming over here we have the village of Oakfield. I don't know, it's called Oakfield even though it's built in a savanna. Yes, that I am a genius at naming things. Over here we have a sort of sign. Welcome to Oakfield. I actually need to change that to 18. Let me just do that real quick. And also I spelled the word welcome wrong once again. I do this constantly. So this is a very beautiful village. This was actually an acacia village which I renovated because you know, funny story, when I originally came to this village, when I was playing I had hard mode on, and so basically while I was building fernlake farm over there, the village was apparently attacked by zombies, and when I came back to the village most of the villagers were missing, the doors were missing, so yes, the original population got massacred and it's mostly my fault. A few other villagers survived. By the house that was over here, there were hay bales near the house and they were like placed so that this corner was empty. And so I was breaking the hay bales. I was just like, well, all of the villagers are dead, so I might as well just take the food. They don't really need it. And then, like, apparently some of the villagers either got stuck here because of the beds, or maybe they spawned in here. But I just break the hay bale and 2 villagers pop out. And so some of the original villagers are still here, but the village got mostly repopulated by me healing zombie villagers and bringing them over here. So this village is like 80% comprised of zombie villagers. It's healed zombie villagers at least. Most of the houses are very similar to the original ones, but they made with wool instead of terracotta, and they've also added a few extra houses and changed some things up as, you know, more villagers joined. So this library is one of the originals. We have one of the original villagers working here. His name is Quinn. We have also Adine, who is my unbreaking villager. As you can see, she is one of the healed ones. So she's selling me an Unbreaking 2 book for 1 emerald and 1 book, which is obviously a steal. It's an amazing trade, thank you. We have the Fletcher's house. I've also added the sort of chicken coop here, which I have had to... Oh my god! This damn Enderman, oh my lord. Oh dear. Thank you. I got distracted, but this chicken coop was originally way bigger, but there was the issue of the Fletcher getting spooked and then spawning iron golems, which would spawn inside the chicken enclosure. And then there would be like 3 golems in here. So I had to make it smaller, so that issue won't arise again. So over here we got the farmer's house. I think Beatrice lives here. I also name most of my villagers because I think it's more convenient this way. And also it just humanizes them a little bit more. I am obviously completely against those like villager containment camps or whatever, or trading halls. I think they're very unethical. I think the villagers, they're supposed to be like humans in the world of Minecraft. And so we should treat them as such and not as animals. I have Beatrice here. She's one of the farmers that I sell my pumpkins to, and most of my other crops as well. So thank you, Bea. Over here we have the fisherman's house. He also has a pier here. Hello, Phil. He has his workplace here. I've also had to light up the river because we have an issue of the drowned attacking the village repeatedly. We have this house, which was originally a house just like this, but I had to make it bigger because we didn't want to build another house or another villager. We have a bench here to just sit and enjoy, you know, the sunny days or whatever. We have another one of the. This is actually a new recruit. This is River. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. When we are new farmer recruits, they do their job very well. Thank you, River. We also have a few just singular houses here. No, these are where the librarians live, I believe. We have the village centerpiece here. There was also a fountain here before, but it was over here. I just improved it a little bit. As you can see, the villagers are now gathering for their town meeting. What are you two doing? They get stuck in bushes a lot. We have a little bit of a farm here. It's mostly used for when I take my horse here. I just put my horse in here so that she doesn't wander off. We have the mason's house here, which is just it looks very much like the original mason's house. I just changed it up a little bit to fit my style a bit more. We have some clay here that, since you know, he buys clay. The mason is also one of the original villagers. I was not intending to have a mason. I was supposed to change his profession, but I accidentally traded with him. And that was before I realized that masons are actually one of the best villagers in the game because you can buy bricks from them, and I don't have to tear up entire swamps to get clay just to get a bunch of bricks, which is very convenient because bricks are my favorite block in the game. So here we have the toolsmith's house. His name is Tony. He's a bit of a loner. He's also one of the newest villagers. We have a little bit of a garden here. This is the church. It's officially named the Church of Saint Notch. We have our cleric here. His name is Glendos. I don't know why I named him that. I felt it sounded like cool at first, but now it just sounds stupid. But whatever. He's a bit of a snob. He doesn't really like hanging out with other villagers. Villagers don't really have personalities in game, but I have like a few headcanons because I really love lore. No, I just have a lot of lore for this world. I have made up little personalities for most of the villagers because I think that's nice, based on, you know, their habits that are mostly just accidents in the code. I've made up little personalities for them. So Glenn is a bit of a since his workplace, which is the church, is so far off from the bell, he doesn't register it as the town gathering place, so he doesn't gather with the other villagers. So we have the market here. It's not, I just built it for fun. It's not really used that much, but canonically Oakfield is one of the biggest exporters of dye, and so it's a small village, but boats come over here a lot. You know, boats are supposed to kind of dock here at the western dock. Sorry, I'm just sort of... This whole voiceover thing is a lot more tiring than I thought that it would. I'm also probably going to cut like 40% of this recording just because I stumble over my words too much. So this is the second library of the village. There was actually a different house here, but I decided to build the library because there was too many librarians. One of the villagers that works here is Sylvia, who is also one of the original librarians. She sells silk touch. There's also two other apprentice villagers, Merlin, who is my main villager, and Eve. I don't remember what she sells, but I don't know. This is the armor smith's house. We actually had two different armor smiths here. We had Arthur, who just went missing at some point. Like, I don't know if he got murdered by a zombie or maybe he just wandered off, but he just disappeared and I don't know where he is. We had another villager at his place. This is... Oh, wait, what? This is... What? There's been a mishap. Looks like the villagers switched their beds again. What? Why is Wheatley here? What the fuck? So, yes, this is normal. But Whitley, so he lives in that house. I don't know why he's here. One second, I need to pause the recording because I need to move the villagers.
A few moments later.
Is this thing recording? So I managed to move the villagers to the correct beds. I managed to find Arnold. So he's there now. I kind of lost my train of thought, but here's our... Why are you holding bone meal? Why is it rotating? Alright, that is probably the weirdest bug I have ever encountered in this game, but okay. Artyom is also one of our farmers' wives, and Betty are our two butchers. They work in that house over there, which I haven't shown. This is the butcher's place. It's structured almost exactly as the original butcher's house. I had the railing is placed here because when I made the farm here, the villagers would usually, they would like jump off the sledge and they would stomp the crops. And that would be not very nice. That's why I had to block this off. So that they would be forced to use the normal paths and not just jump, not just like walk over other people's crops. Like that's very mean of them. Why would they do that? I need to replant these. So we have this flower bin here. We actually have water blocks under these slabs so that the sugarcane will grow. I don't know, I just like this bizarre sort of decoration. Putting giant tall sugarcane everywhere. This house is actually one of the most unique ones. No, I was just experimenting with my style a bit. The villagers living here are Zeal the weaponsmith and Whitley the farmer. They're pretty chill people. This is the guy that was sleeping in Arnold's bed. I don't know how he got there. Looks like we've circled around the village. So that's why I'm going to need to show you the centerpiece of the village, which is the town square. I've already shown the fun, but this is a map of the entire village. I just felt it looks nice. We have the tavern here, which is called the Mason's Monk Tavern. Have the Church of Saint Notch. Also have this wall. As you can see, this is a very strategically placed village. We have two large bodies of water, and you know the parts where it still touches the other land are walled off. I decided to build this wall so that villagers wouldn't wander off, and so that the thing that happened in Arthur wouldn't happen again. As you can see, they still do this. Like how? I blocked it off for a reason. Why would you do that? Because they do things like this. I also forgot to show that this is the graveyard. We only have Arthur's grave here because, you know, he's technically missing. We have other graves here. Hopefully these graves will stay not being graves. We actually had a little bit of a body of water here. There was like this very shallow little pool here, which I filled up completely. So we have the wall here. It was also very convenient because a few days later I got visited by a raid patrol or a villager patrol or whatever those are. I defeated most of them, but then I forgot that I had the Bitomen effect and I went to the village and then I started the raid accidentally. This happened like 50 days ago or something. I had technically all of the gear I needed. I just blocked in most of the villagers in their houses. I died a few times, but I still managed to defeat the raid and none of the villagers were harmed, which is the most important part. I got a little bit distracted there, but we're back on track. We have the Mason's Monk Tavern and Inn. When I planned it out in creative, it was a bit bigger, but then I decided to make it a bit smaller. We have it blocked off like this because villagers would get stuck in these tables for some reason. It's not really used by villagers. We also don't really have anyone working here. It's just sort of just a place to chill, I guess. Since this is... What the fuck? How did you get here? Alright, we're just going to ignore that and continue on with the tour. So, there was originally a normal staircase here, but I decided to replace it. I was originally intending for this place to be accessible with villagers, but then they would just get stuck here and just stay here for the night. Even though I didn't have proper beds here, they would just forget how to leave. And so I had to replace this staircase with a ladder and close off the entire caravan completely. So yeah, we have 3 rooms on this floor here. We have the third floor here. This is actually somehow a miracle of planning. I don't know how I fit this many rooms in here, but we have full-on great rooms. I think there was supposed to be bookshelves here, but I was poor at the time, and so I didn't really do that. I'll put bookshelves here at some point. I need to write that down, or I will forget. So that's the finished tour of the village specifically. We are going to be moving on to my other builds. We have to go back to fernlake farm since those other builds are way over there, and I also have built paths to all of them, which is I just like lore and details and just all of that stuff that just make a world feel like it has an actual story. I feel like lore is very important for Minecraft worlds, for you to feel comfortable in it. We actually have this sign here, which I forgot to show when I was heading over there, but I actually measured so the 108 blocks is actually accurate. It's actually the accurate amount. So yeah, the signs are actually accurate. I actually measured the amount of blocks. Uh, the distance. Oh my god, the word was distance. So I actually measured the distance between fernlake farm and the sign. So that's actually accurate. So I have 2 more other things to show you. I have to show you the firewatch tower, which is over there, which is where we're going to be headed. Oh, and also I need to get sidetracked because I forgot to write this down. I have a zombie spawner over there. It's nothing really special, so I'm not going to climb all the way down there because it's going to have to cut out all of that footage. So all of these trees I planted myself, they just kind of look nice. I did not bring any food. I am stupid. So we have a little bridge over here. This is my first time building a path like this. So obviously, this aquifer was actually here originally. I just decided not to move it because I thought it would be interesting, sort of stream you have to jump over. Thought it looked nice. So here is the tower in all of its glory, I guess. It's actually one of the biggest builds. I cannot tell you how much wood I actually had to chop down to build this entire thing. This goddamn Enderman griefing. Yeah. So this is also built on a sort of old school style. So I had to block this off so that mobs wouldn't come up over here. I have the staircase, which I wanted to make a staircase that would wrap around the tower itself and not be inside of the tower, but I realized that that would be a lot harder to do, and I was already tired from building the entire tower, you know. As you can probably see, we're already too high. We can't hear the birds anymore. This tower also serves as a home for another one of the pillagers I brought the crossbows of, and this is Pete. Hello, Pete. He's basically in lore. He's sort of the keeper of this tower. He watches over the forest. We have a little workplace for him, some books, so that he can sit here and read. He was actually a raid captain, but he redeemed himself, and now he's a nice guy. Actually, I found this extra kettle. I found it in my shaft, and I decided to clean it up and give it to him as a present. He really likes it. So we have a little bit of a weird little couch here. We have a raised platform here with a bed, which he doesn't. No, canonically he uses it, but in reality not really. We have these weird little support beams, which are diagonal. No, I've left one of the doors open so that Pete can walk around and just be outside. This view is absolutely breathtaking, but you can't really see much of it because my render distance is pretty low and also it's really dark. That little place to sit here. I would turn up my render distance to show you this beautiful view, but I'm afraid that my recording would get too laggy. So we're not doing that. That was the dark hour. Thank you for your hospitality, Pete. I'll see you later. Now I have to just go all the way down. Probably one of my best projects yet. I just randomly decided to build this tower, and now it just looks so epic. Let me just... No, I can't do that. I was going to jump over the railing to try and get that stupid little block over there. Whoever put that there, which Enderman, I am going to find you, and I am going to be very mad at you. And I'm going to hit you with a frying for putting dirt on my tree. This part of the path, I think I had to remake because a creeper jumped down and almost killed me. And exploded the path. Oh my god. Oh dear, there are zombies here. Why did that rhyme? Oh, I think I lost him. Oh, that's nice. I need to head back home real quick because I'm going to get murdered. As you can probably already see, that's the bunker over there. I call it a bunker, but it's not really a bunker, you know? It was just sort of a... I just found a really cool ravine. From the outside it just looked like a normal ravine, but it sort of expanded at the bottom into a giant, like one of those super wide giant caves, which I mostly explored. I can't really show you. There it is again. You have witnessed the glitch with your own eyes. She just spawns outside of the... She just spawns outside of a house for some reason. Okay, I'll just bring Shelly with me this time. And so I had the idea of sort of building the sort of ravine base with these hanging bridges. So it's sort of like... So it's really epic looking. So fun fact about the scratching table. It's actually from... at some point I had my mom visit this world. And so she put the scratching table here. And she forgot to remove it, and now it's overgrown with vines. And I think it's just really poetic. It just shows the passage of time. So I decided to keep it. So over here we have the ravine base. So this is what it looks like from the top. It's not really... It doesn't really look that good from this angle. But I swear it's an epic view. So this is... We have two bridges here. First I built this bridge, but then I decided that it looked ugly and that one was more convenient. I think this is a better looking one. It definitely looks more like a hanging bridge. This is supposed to look like an abandoned sort of house, but it's actually an entrance to the base. Over here we have the hall. We have two endermen here sitting in a boat. At some point I was just building this room, it was raining, and then an enderman just appeared. So I caught him in the boat and he was sitting here. You know, at some point I just come back, and instead of one enderman being in the boat, there's two. So now he has a friend. I don't know what to name both of them yet. I had to move them because they would keep taking the gravel out of the walls and putting it on the ground. So this is sort of the main hall. It's mostly empty. I decided to put the sort of like skylight here because otherwise it would just look stupid with the water dripping. This room is actually the original room. I didn't really want to build anything here because I just decided to just kind of carve out a big room just to gather stone. And then I decided to make this into a park. I have the storage here, which is mostly empty. I just keep most of the stuff that I don't really use, like diorite and granite and just an andesite here. So over here we have the sort of crafting room. It's also one of the earlier rooms I built. It's mostly empty. It's kind of boring. But anyways, I really I also forgot to show you the balcony. It's also really nice. Let me show you the lounge room. If we head back down here, we have the lounge room, or like sort of living room, I guess. We have books here. We have a sort of ladder here to easy reach the bookshelves over here. We have storage. We have places to sit down, have fun. You know, have the jukebox here. Sort of chill look over here. We have a fireplace here, which is, it's completely safe. Don't worry. I've put these furnaces over here specifically so it look cool, but also so that the fire doesn't burn everything down. So over here we have the bedrooms. This is a bit of an ominous hallway. We have some fishies here. Fishies. So most of the bedrooms just look the same, just with different wallpaper. They're not really used. I don't really use them at all. They're just kind of here because I wanted to build this base. Originally this was a wall around here, and so this entire room was just the entire lounge room, and it was really boring. Then I decided to expand it. Yeah, it looks a lot nicer here. It's a bit of a bizarre. I think the wallpaper looks really cool, even though it's a bit of a bizarre choice of building blocks. But that's just my style at this point. Now we're going to head to the garden, which is down here. So we have a sort of like zen, because we have these stones here. We have a place to sit down, just relax, a pool. Some vines growing from the ceiling, and also relaxing sounds of sheep and cows, which are really loud. We have a little bit of a farm here. I tried to block it off with these sort of hedge walls, but you can still hear the animals, so this is not really as relaxing of a zen garden as I thought it would be. If we come down here, you can see the giant underground wheat field. I am simply a genius. I don't know why I ever built this. This is literally no reason to exist. This is very inefficient, but at least it yields a lot of wheat. I just thought it looked cool. I just think giant wheat fields look cool, and I wanted to have one somewhere on my base. So this is the giant part of the cave that I was talking about. It just expands over here. I actually have a spider farm over there, but it was really inefficient and hard to get to, and so it's sort of abandoned now. I just decided not to block the cave off, but just to put glass here, so that you can kind of see everything over here. It was a pain in the ass, sort of evening all of this out and planting all of the grass. This is actually a waterfall that was originally there. Oh, hello there. Dude, what are you doing? I didn't think skeletons could spawn there, or any hostile mobs of the sort, but I'll have to light that up eventually. Yeah, so that part of the ravine is mostly closed off by the fountain. I mostly forget that it's there most of the time. I'll probably build something there at some point. But yes, over here we have the dining room. It's one of the more bizarre builds of mine. I've just really leaned into that sort of early Minecraft aesthetic. At least I think I do. This giant rose pixel art, weird chandelier thing. We have a table which is made of glass, and we have... I forgot what fish were called. We have sort of painting wall here. This random villager, which was actually... I caught him in the cave. He was a zombie villager, and then I healed him, and then I brought him over here. So I don't really know what to do with him. I'm probably going to move him to the village, or maybe build him a house at some point, but I'll do that later. So we actually have a secret here. So this button, I'm scared that Shelly will get stuck in the mechanism. Push this button, store opens. I actually built a spy tutorial. This is just, your normal flush piston door. I didn't invent it myself, obviously. We have a little sort of hallway hidden over here, and we have, which is what I call the flower room. It doesn't really serve any purpose, but you can just kind of sit here and enjoy the view of the giant wheat field. We have the crafting table floor here. It's very creative. Yeah. So these are supposed to be giant candles, by the way. I think these are genius. Heading over here, we have the hallway that leads. This was originally the original dining room, but then this was supposed to be a wall, and the kitchen was sort of carved into this wall here. It was actually a sort of a room here. We had a table here, but I decided that when I decided to make this aquarium into a sort of passageway, it's sort of now. So basically, there was a room here, and now this is a hallway. I just put a bunch of paintings here. And so we have the kitchen over here. No, just your standard kitchen, nothing much. Nothing really interesting. It's just nice looking. Yeah, over here we have a passageway. No, it's connecting to the main road. Main bridge over here. So this leads to the bathroom, or this was intended to be a bathroom, and now it's just sort of a pool room. It was. We have this hallway here that is made of glass, and we have a little aquarium here, which is a lot more. It's better visible if you don't have the beta continuum resource pack installed, but I just like the beta textures more. So yeah, so you can't really see the fish here. We have this is sort of inspired by the pool rooms. You know, it's like the back rooms but pools, sort of infinite pools. It's also inspired by a pool rooms inspired Team Fortress 2 map. A Team Fortress 2 map which is sort of inspired by the aesthetics of the pool rooms. Oh my god, that scared me so much. Oh my god, my heart. Oh dear. I should probably... We'll have to pause the tour for now. I need to head home. Because I'm really scared that something is going to burn down. I need to sleep and I need to pass this thunderstorm because I don't want another forest fire. Because if a thunderstorm happens, I try to skip it because I'm scared. One, I'm scared that one of my builds is going to burn down. Yes, I know I could just turn off fire spread, but I am too stubborn to do that. So, and I am also very scared that that one of my pets is going to get hit by lightning through the roof of my house. Just like what happened with Sabrina. I know that's probably like some sort of weird bug that's probably not going to happen again. But I am still paranoid. So yeah, where... Yeah, she's scared as well. She's running from that man. You're so adorable. I love you so much. Here. I think everything is fine. The last time this sort of thunderstorm happened, a few trees over there in the jungle have burned down. I've noticed that and I tried to stop the fire, but still, a few trees have perished. I think that's fine now. We can resume the tour now. Jumping over this spider, there's so many spiders. Bro got random critted. Boom. I am very cool and very good at combat. So, what inspired the way the bathroom looks. It was also partially inspired by a TIF2 community server map that is called Lethargy Pools. I don't particularly remember who made it, but if you look up Lethargy Pools, you're probably going to find out. I'll just ask future me or the editor to put the map on screen and put the name of the creator on screen. Greetings, this is Future Maro, aka the editor. I just opened the map page on Steam. So the creator of this map is Ifazor. You should go check them out. They have some other really cool and bizarre TF2 maps, I think, but I've only explored Lethargy Pools so far. I'll explore them sometime in the future. I'm thinking I'll even make a video out of that, but who knows? Have this sort of like rainbow painted on the wall. It's sort of supposed to be a kid's pool. I'm afraid that Shelly will drown. I'll just lure her over here. She'll just sit here. These are supposed to be sort of like balloons hanging from the ceiling, but they just look stupid. They're supposed to be like It's also a liturgy pools inspired detail. I have this pool here. I mostly built this out of clay because I felt the clay looked nice. It's sort of inspired by a pool I also went to when I was a little kid. I remember that when I was learning how to swim on my back, and I remember that I was looking up and I saw the rafters. I have a little bit of a waterfall here, a little bit of an ominous room here. There's not really anything here. I was supposed to probably put glowstone here, but I forgot. Yeah, so this room is mostly empty. Have some waterfalls for decoration here. It's also really convenient if you want to drown yourself. So we have 2 slides here. They're not really that different, but I'm going to drive through both of them just to see. It's a lot more fun if you swim through them in a boat. Whee! Oh, whee! So we enter this room. We have a little bit of a rainbow painted over here. I was probably supposed to put glowstone on the ceiling, but whatever, I think I forgot. We have a sort of a bench here for, you know, the people who don't want to get wet to sit on. We have an aquarium here with a squid. The most convenient part is that there's actually a river over here, so I could just like make a hole here and just drag the squid inside. His name is Squidward and he is very cool. Heading over here, we have a sort of hallway with a staircase. It's just a way for the people who don't want to get wet to get down in that room. Just if you don't want to use the slide, you can do that. This is a cooler slide because it's sort of, you can hit your head over here, I think. It's a bit more, it's a bit less well filled out than the other slide because I sort of had to build it around the other slide. So this is the lazy river part. So it's kind of worse. It's not really worse, it's just more, it's sort of a weirder slide than the other. And I think it's more interesting that way. So that was the pool rooms. We can now head back. And there's another room in this hallway that I really wanted to show you guys. And obviously, as you can see, there's a lot of painting here, and obviously there's going to be a secret room behind one of them. Over here we have the drum roll, please, the giant fucking library. This is the best thing I have ever built. 100%. Getting all of the bookshelves for this was extremely hard. Like, at some point, my everyday routine was just gathering pumpkins, going over to the village, selling the pumpkins, buying bookshelves, and just repeating that over and over and over again. And I would only get around 24 bookshelves every single day. When one of my villagers started selling their bookshelves for 3 emeralds a piece instead of 4 emeralds a piece, that was absolutely game breaking. Just 1 emerald less was already game breaking, was already insane. This is a really empty library, like we only have books here, and this weird little carpet just that looks like the German flag, but I think it's really cool. Just the scale. It was actually supposed to end like over here, but then I decided to expand it. I'm probably going to expand it even more. I'm going to add like secret rooms and like bookshelves that move and like secret passageways. This whole thing is actually a really sort of big reference to one of my favorite book series, which is the Dreaming Book series. If you haven't read it, it's a really cool fantasy series. So anyways, we're basically, I think we're done with the tour now. I think we did everything. Let me check my notes. Yes, I think we're done. So anyways, that was the tour. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully my accent wasn't too annoying. The voiceover is terrible. But, you know, I feel like I'll improve. The reason why I even started this channel is because I really wanted to improve my English speaking skills, because I can read and understand English as well as my first language, but I am not as good at forming sentences in it, especially when I'm actually speaking and not writing. I started this channel in hopes that speaking to a camera is going to improve my English skills. So anyways, If you even managed to watch this entire video to the end, thank you. Farewell. Until we meet again. So, hi. This is a bit of a bonus addition to the video, since literally so much time has passed that I've changed a very important thing in my world, and I've decided to show it on camera because why not? It's been around a month since my first ever recording session, which was... it was a bit... one second. So that was on the 5th of April, and now it's the 15th of May. So, you remember that dingy little shack that was the entrance to the bunker, or the ravine base? So now I've built this lighthouse over it, which I feel like it looks a lot better. So, this is what it looks like from this side. I feel like it made a bit more sense since all of this stuff is technically near an ocean. It's not really an ocean, it's more of a what's it called? It's not really an ocean, it's not big enough to be an ocean. I may have forgotten the word for it, but honestly, who cares? I'm going to show you the interior now. So over here we have a sort of kitchen slash dining area type of deal. We have these hanging pumpkins or jack-o'-lanterns. You can wash your hands here. A little bit of a kitchen with storage cabinets. I'm going to put a cake here later. We have this nice little spiral staircase going up. Also, really cool ceiling design, I think. I think it looks nice. This is sort of the sleeping slash study area. Whoever lives here, the lighthouse keeper, they sleep here, and they have a desk here. They have a little bit of a couch here. I guess these weird plants. So as you can see, whoever lives here is quite studious. They enjoy their books, so they have a lot of bookshelves. I've also made a lot of shelves and like paintings. This is a very chaotic interior, but I feel like it looks well. This was also supposed to be a room, but it's a bit too small to put anything here. We can go up here and observe the view. I feel like this path over here looks really nice from this angle. The ravine also looks quite sick, if I do say so myself. I'm going to go into FreeCam to show you the whole thing. We have the actual light part of the lighthouse here. It's also very minimalistic, very nice. So that's it, I guess. Oh wait, I forgot. I forgot to show you the basement. So yeah, we have a basement here. It's not much. It's just a bunch of storage crates. We have this random door here. Just storage crates. It's a bit dark in here. But I guess it doesn't really make sense how these giant crates, how you would fit them through this narrow staircase, but and I guess I don't care. It looks nice. We also have the entrance to the bunker here, which I've made into more of a redstone door. Look, I know it looks sort of ugly because it's sort of... I couldn't make it a flash piston door because I couldn't find a normal tutorial, and also I was too lazy. I'm not a redstone genius. Like, I can follow basic tutorial and I can like combine tutorials and stuff. I've made a few redstone doors in the past, but I could not figure out how to make a flash piston door, and I feel like it was not worth my time. So anyways, that's the lighthouse. I almost ended the recording there, but another thing I forgot to show you was, you remember that builder that was in front of my house? When I told you that I was going to build a house for him soon enough, I forgot instantly after the recording, but I have remembered a bit later, so now he has a house, and I'm going to show it to you. We're going to head over there into the deep dark wood. Please ignore my cactus farm, it's temporary. This damn enderman, oh my lord. I should also probably put my armor on in case there's creepers lurking around here. One second, I need to eat something. So we technically have a sort of path here, which if you follow the torches, you can sort of not get lost, but it doesn't really function that well in the daylight, of course. This is a sort of bridge I made because I don't know, I saw a ravine and I was just like, we need a bridge here, so I built a bridge. Nothing I do ever makes sense to me. This is where the path starts. I was too lazy to actually make the rest of the path so that it would actually link up to Fernlake farm. So we have this nice little wooden cottage here. We have a sheep pen here. So a lot of mushrooms, of course. We have a little bit of a fishing dock, or you can you don't really have to fish here. You can just sit, sort of dip your legs into the water, just enjoy the summer breeze. I don't know if it's summer in Minecraft. Someone died there. On second thought, you should probably not dip your toes into the water if there are dead people in this river. Anyways, we have this sort of farm here. Oops, I was not intending to do that. I am very sorry. So this cottage actually has 2 doors, 2 entrances. We're going to actually enter. Hello, Pierre. So I've named him Pierre. I feel like that fits. Most of the names I give pillagers usually start with pie. So like pillager. So it's a bit I would say there is not much room in here, but I feel like it's cozy. Of course, Pierre has a bed here, a little bit of a bedside table with books. You can also sit down, just enjoy some pie or whatever. I don't know what pillagers eat. Some storage, an oven, a furnace. You can also climb up here onto the roof. As you can see, the roof is made out of grass blocks. It's supposed to be sort of like overgrown. We have a tree. Pierre has a tree growing out of his roof. It's fine. It's probably this house is probably going to be pretty hard to spot out of a helicopter, which it doesn't really matter because we don't have helicopters in this game, if you don't use mods, of course. So yeah, this is a pretty nice build. I'm very proud of it. It's very cozy. I really like how I use the stairs here. I don't know why I did that. It just looked cool. So let me just get back to my house. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the bonus content. Bye.